Hi, I'm Peter Brett from Tool Business and Hire magazine, shortly to become TOOLKiT magazine. I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be bigger and better. Now today we're looking at the Festool, brand new Festool 18 volt angle grinder, officially titled the AGC 18125, which 125 is the millimeters of diameter, it's 5" basically, and it comes in, as most Festool tools come in, this gorgeous sustainer box. Wonderful bit of design, and worthwhile getting a little bit closer to that. This clip doubles so you can make boxes stack, which is very handy. Open it up, and if you look inside there, you see that it fits so beautifully, and that's all down to the design of this insert. You can see that, very clever things like the fact that the angle grinder is stored kind of effectively face up, which means that the guard and the disc don't get in the way of anything. So that can come out. You've got the all-important anti-vibration auxiliary handle, space for a spare battery, nicely organised place for the cable and the charger, the pin wrench, which we'll come to in a minute, even down to a space where you can keep spare discs, which you're bound to gather a few, and so on. So yeah, and things like the instruction booklet can handily slip down the side as well. Let's get some of that out and have a look at it. The tool itself follows a very straightforward angle grinder design. It's quite chunky. I feel initially I felt as though it was a little bit too big for my hands, but actually when you use it, the centrifugal force and the balance kind of balance out, and it feels good. Mostly, unless if you want it, it's toollessly adjustable. So again, a little squeeze on the lever there, and you can change the angle of the guard. If you want to take the disc off, just flick that up. Oh, I better lock the arbor. There we go, straight in. As you know, there's sometimes a lot of torque effect when you're working on things, so you might end up having to use the pin wrench to take things off, but very easy, very straightforward. There's the fairly standard sort of arbor lock. Batteries, straightforward, put off and on, take off and on, click into place. Very simple method for checking how much charge you got. Well, that one's a bit low. The other things picked out in green are, as we all know with Festool, the controls are picked out in green. 6-speed dial-in wheel. The electronics, of course, on the brushless motor, or the EC motor, will take charge of keeping the speeds up to scratch electronically. So once you've selected the speed, it'll stay on that. This is a little gem. Absolutely love it. One of the best I've ever seen on any angle grinder. Normally you can be a fiddle, particularly when they get full of dust, which is what this, it's kind of part of the working environment of an angle grinder, whether it's bits of metal or bits of brick dust or concrete dust or whatever. It usually clogs. This one looks as though it'd be fairly easy to keep clean because it's quite nice and wide out there, but just look at how easily you can see the brake picks up there and stops the disc very nicely. Really, that is so easy. Really like it. I think it's time to go outside and see if we can cut some metal with this. Give it give some metal a polish as well. Just screws in. And of course change the angle. be ready to go. And just listen to that brake cut in. So, maybe what we can do now, swap over the discs. We'll use a very fine cutting disc next. This one really does have a very thin edge, probably a couple of mil or so, 1.5 mil, and the advantage of that is that it's very efficient. That works really well. You cut through bolt or studding or whatever with that very, very easily. So try and last, and you can see how quickly and easily you can change discs when you're working, which makes for a very relaxed and easy way of doing things. That's what, probably 3 mil, 2 mil cutting disc. So I bet it's quicker, it will last a bit longer as well. Yeah, you really can't argue with that. Interestingly, I just noticed here now how the this vent here at the top is actually ejecting dust out of the casing from the motor. So there clearly is some dust and some rust that gets ambient with the tool when you're using it. But the tool itself is doing a very good job of getting rid of it. Yeah, so do I like that? Yes, I like it.